going to conferences all the time is the main driver for progress in your skill set and also your relationship, and basically any professional can become a better professional by attending conferences.
It's not the standard, okay? It's a movie theater, but the visual is great and the sound is great, and I've seen a lot of room and space, and I think it's organized well.
Seeing all the people here today and they're excited about stuff, you can see the energy and the desire to learn and do new things.
And I was positively surprised about the depth, the technical depth of the sessions, and how that makes the tester part of the team.
I think developers do benefit from coming to QA conferences, just the same as testers can benefit from going to dev conferences. You've got to have a broad understanding of what's going on.
It's really inclusive. I would say it's super diverse. People are really open and friendly, and it's really organized.
Conferences are well worthwhile just for the ideas that they spark in people. When people come back to the office, they're full of ideas and they're all energized up.
Okay, hello everybody. Thanks for joining to the session. First of all, I want to thank you to the organizers for giving me this opportunity to present to you and share my experience with you guys. And today we will talk about how we build actually scalable mobile device lab in our office for the automation, and what was the challenges and what we actually achieved on it. Okay, so first of all, shortly about myself. My name is Sargis. I'm working for the PicsArt already for 2 years. Before that, I was working for different companies for about 12 years. Right now, I'm working as a director of quality assurance at PicsArt. If you didn't had a chance to hear about the PicsArt is the photo video editor app which helps users to create a piece of art and share in a social network. So let's go. As an introduction, I will talk about the main topics that we will cover today. So basically, we'll talk about why build a smartphone app, what is the requirements, how we build the ecosystems in our office for the automation run, how we set up, how we are managing and maintaining the devices, how we are set up in the devices, and I will show actually how we are running the test. And then in the end, we'll have a time for the question and answer. Basically, if you will not manage to ask your question or later you will have any questions to me, you can just ping me in LinkedIn or Twitter. I will do my best to answer your questions. Basically, I will leave the links in the end of the presentation. So everybody who work with the mobile testing, you already know that the mobile testing has extra challenges than other apps. So basically, for them, beside the main challenges in the testing for the mobile, we have this device screens fragmentation, which is more than 24,000 different fonts. We have the localization stuff, which, for example, for the PicsArt, we are translating the application with more than 34 languages. And basically, we need to at least check the UI that everything looks fine on the mobile screen. We face the performance issues because the devices are too much, and we should make sure that from the low-end device till the modern devices we can support and the application is working fine. The difference is in the network, we have Wi-Fi, mobile networks, roaming, online, offline modes, etc. So we need to make sure that in every mode the application at least functioning. And of course, some tools that we are using especially for the mobile, for example, capturing with the proxy, the network, etc. So basically, there are this is some of the specific challenges in the mobile that we have. So basically, actually does what is the mobile device lab? Mobile device lab is a set of the devices, of collection of the devices that are available for the testing. In our case, I'm presenting the mobile device lab, which is used for the automation only. So we just collect some amount of the devices, and we are using them for the automation. Basically, which we have some certain criteria, which kind of the devices we are trying to select for the device lab. It depends actually on the usage. So we are just checking how which phones are popular within our user base, and which ones are more problematic, or I don't know which one is like trending. So we are choosing these devices, and from time to time we are updating the device space actually in the farm. Okay, so several reasons actually why we built this device lab. Ability to test the physical experience. This device lab actually help us to cover the user scenarios. Yes, from the like end-to-end scenarios with a real device experience. So this is the only way that we were able to cover these physical user scenarios. So this is actually helping us to do like our acceptance testing. As it's in-house, it is customized by our engineers, yes, it allows us to create a custom infrastructure for automation. What does this mean? Actually, we have a lot of customization in our mobile lab, which is done only for our application. For example, we are mocking a lot of services. We are building the binary with the specific parameters, which is used only for automation, and there are very small aspect of the application which is working differently because we customized for the automation to make automation more smooth and fast. Another big reason is that we have a photo editor app. So lots of functionality in our app is just a visual, and visual functionality in the different phones and the physical device and the emulator or simulator looks very, very different. So basically, we need to test these visual functionalities in the real device to make sure that it works fine. And of course, the cost efficiency. Basically, if you are a small startup, I'm not sure that this will be cost efficient, because in a small startup you can also use some services. But if you are the product company and working basically on one application, and you develop the same application for over the years, for the long term, this solution becoming cost efficient more than using some services. Let's talk about some achievement that we already done with this mobile farm in our company. So basically, we already talk about using the real devices. So basically, development using some simulators during the development, and also we have using simulators and emulators for the automation also. That it depends in which stage of the development life cycle. For example, during the development process, we could use some emulator or simulator for the testing, but for final testing or for regression testing, we are running all the automation tests on the real devices, just to make sure that everything is fine. If you ever work with the automation for the Apple, for the iPhones, you already face the issue of the Apple code signing and the provisioning. There is one way to jailbreak it and use the broken device, but basically what we did, we automate all this provisioning challenge. And every time when we are running the test and there is missing provisioning profiles and stuff like that, there is a script running in the device lab machines and installing everything, signing the application, and then installing it. So we just did our best to have end-to-end complete scenario for the testing for the as for the Android as much for the Apple. So Of course, there is also security issues. So this is the only secure way that we have the mobile farm in the house. All the servers are in the house, and we are not transferring any information outside of the company, and everything working under the VPN network inside the company. So this is another benefit that we achieved, and we never share any information with a third-party company. I mean, this is for lots of companies could be not like very important point, but we also pay attention on this. And finally, this mobile farm, creating this mobile farm teach us to not automate everything. Basically, there are a lot of functionality, especially for the mobile, that it's faster and easier to check manually rather than automate everything. What this means, so we don't need to automate everything because the mobile farm is not cheap, and we are investing a lot of resources there, and we should not automate a lot of stuff there. I mean, we should try to automate all the critical path, happy path, and try to not pay attention on the very small stuff that is very easy to do in a manual. So basically, in any automation experience, you should not automate everything, but for this solution, we are trying to pay attention a bit more on this to keep everything in the golden average. So to not waste resource, to not create the test that will create a big load on the mobile farm, but will give less output. Okay, let's talk about the stack. What actually we use from the software part. Yes, of course we are using the Android and iOS operation systems, as all the devices are 50-50 is Android and iOS. We use Java for writing all the automation tests that we are running actually on this farm. We use Opium because it's a cross-platform, and it's the natural basis on the web driver protocol. Basically, with the Opium, we are using the Opium and Java. We get to the solution that we have one page object for both platforms, because the application is identical for almost identical for iOS and Android, and we are creating the page object only one page object for these two platforms, which makes less code duplication, and we are getting higher maintenance, better ability to maintain the code. And for the continuous integration, we are using Jenkins, and everything we build is running, and the ecosystem is created in the Jenkins. Okay, from the hardware stack, what we are using actually, we use Mac Mini machines, several of them. I will show the graph how we are just connecting these machines in the Jenkins a bit later. So we use the Power USB hubs. This is one of the painful parts of our experience. So I will talk about Power Hub a bit later in the details for how we used and how we fixed the problem. Of course, we are using iPhones and the cabling to connect to the Mac Minis, and the Android phones and the cabling. And we have several monitors in the lab, which shows the last run result, just for the visibility. Okay, so basically, if we will take a look in the high level, this is the this is the ecosystem. So we have the Jenkins, and we have nodes connected to the Jenkins. Yeah, basically, I just present here 3 nodes, but as you see, the third one is N, so you can put as much nodes as you want. Right now, we have, in our case, up to 10 nodes connected to the Jenkins. The first one, if you pay attention, is the virtual node. And we are running here simulators and emulators. Of course, we are trying to keep this machine a bit powerful than the other ones, because we are using a lot of memory while we are running these simulators and emulators in the automation. And the next one's actually just a Mac machine, and we are connecting 2 phones to every machine. One is the iOS, another is Android. So every node basically like keeps two devices connected to them. There is a possibility to add more phones to one machine, but basically we try to use this solution because actually we have a lot of Mac machines that we are not using in the house, and this keeps a bit faster installing the application and stuff, and the machines are working quite well in this structure. But we had the experience when we just connected more devices, and it basically slowed down the run rather than made it faster. So there is two issues that we fixed. One is the power management. The problem was that while we are connecting the device to the computer, usually when we are running non-stop running automation tests on this farm, the device like using like the energy faster than charging from the computer. Basically, during the like 1 or 1.5 day, the battery is getting empty, and the phone is switching off. For this, we just bought several adapters, and we are connecting to the computer via adapters. This is the one that we use, and it's fork well. So if you will be interested, I will leave the link under this slide. So we just plug into the USB hub, and then USB hub connecting to the computer, and this allows us to make sure that we are charging the phone faster than actually we are using the energy while we are running the tests. And the next one is the network management. This is another painful part while we are building this kind of the farm. In the beginning, we were connecting all devices to the Wi-Fi, but it was very, very unstable because based on the load, your tests are starting to fail because of the connection. We come up with a solution of reversing the network from the phone to the computer. Basically, we have solution for the iOS. It's easy from the settings. You are just you are connecting the native USB tethering, which is just giving the internet connection from the machine, from the Mac machine to a phone. And for the Android, we use open source script which called generated, which is just reversing the network. This is just a script that you are running on the Mac, and it's reversing the network and giving the network connection from the machine to the phone. And the machines we are connecting with the LAN cable, and basically we have stable connection, internet connection on all devices. I will leave again the link under the slide to the script that you can use for the Android network reversing. Okay, so basically this is the architecture of the pipeline that we have in the Jenkins. I will go like step by step to present you the steps that we are doing and how we are dividing to the groups. Basically, when we kick off the run in the Jenkins, the first thing that the Jenkins is doing is building the binary. When we are kicking off the run, we are giving the parameter of which branch we want to build to run the test on that. So there's this stage, which is the build binary, just takes the branch, clones the repository, it builds the application, and archives the artifact of the binary in the master slave, like master node. And then the next step is running the test. Basically, what is the run test stage is doing? It's taking all amount of the test. By the way, we actually have about 4,000 test cases running on the slab, like half of it is for the Android and half of it for iOS. Basically, it takes the group of the tests that we want to run. It takes the amount of the nodes, how many nodes we have connected available right now. It divides the tests to that amount of the nodes and push it to the nodes. And every node, basically, in this case, getting some amount of the tests. And it's running on the device. Like every node runs on the device connected to it, to that node. And in the end, after the run, like before the run, actually, it's requesting the build from the master node, the binary. It gets the binary, installing to that phone, and then running the tests. After running the tests, it's archiving, stashing actually the report files and sending to the master node. Basically, in the end of the run, we are getting all the report files from every node in the master node, and then we are generating the report from all these sections. Let's take a look actually inside the node. What's happening inside the node, like more closely taking a look. Basically, we clean up, set up again, run the test, finalize the build, and generate the report. So let's take a look on every stage what we are doing. In the cleanup stage, we just reboot the device, because when you are running a lot of, like, the device is working non-stop, usually we are having like memory issues, and when you restart the device, it's like cleaning up the memory. This is safer, like done for the safety of. We are killing the previous Appium server run if it's running. So we check if it's running, we are killing it. We are killing generated if it's running for Android only. This is the script which is the reversing the network. After cleaning up the environment, we are set up in the environment for the next run. We run the Appium server for the specific group of the test. We run the generated service, which will reverse the network, and the Android device will get the network connection actually from the Mac Mini. And we are running some mock servers, which is our application specific, and we just mock some services to have more stable environment for the running. And then we are running the amount tests that we get to this node. After the running the test, we finalizing the build, which means we are stashing the report file. We are stashing the crash report info. If there was some crash during the run, we stash all failure screenshot, and we are sending all this data to the master node. And then master node will generate the report. We'll talk about the reporting stuff a bit late in a more detailed how we customize actually that reporting. Okay, now it's time for the reporting. For the reporting, we are using Alu Report. This tool is open source and free, and you can customize it in a lot of parts. So basically, I want to show how we customized our reporting for the automation. Basically, this is the screen that you can see for the Alu reporting. It's the flexible, very like multi-language. You can use in a different language. Of course, we are using the Java version. We are using the Maven plugin of it. And I will leave the link of the Alu reporting under this slide. You can take a look. But basically, from the screen, you can see that we run 1,102 test cases, and 27.5% of it was passed. And there is some failures, which we have. Some failures are test issues, some failures are environment issues, and the purple ones are the disabled tests. So this one's the test that we know that it's failing. We'll log the bug. We mark them failing and waiting until this test will be fixed by the development, and we will we run the test again. Let's take a look closer of the report. When we open the report, we can just open the failure and check all the information that we stashed. As I mentioned before, we are stashing a lot of information. Yeah? So basically, in this case, we have the screenshot, the screen when the test failed actually. Beside this screenshot, which is common for every automation, everyone is doing this screenshot, we stash a lot of information. Actually, this information actually kept only if the test is failing. So basically, when the test is failing, we also stash the information about the current logged in user, its key, username, ID, and the email. This allows us to for the debugging. If there is a user-specific bug, this allows us to dig into the database or use the same user to try to reproduce this bug, etc. As there could be also device-specific issues, we also stash information and put in the report the device information, the model of the device and the ID of the device. This also allows us to find exact the device in the farm which were used while this test was failing. And also we stash some information about automation branch, application branch, and backend URL, which is like customizable for us. We just keep all the data that could be helpful for the debugging. Yeah, and of course there is a stack trace, the log, and if there is a if the application was crashing during the run, we also put the crash log here. Later, we are making it easy for the development to try to fix it. Okay. So, and basically this is the all that I would like to present you, and in the end I would like to show actually how it looks like, the physical device lab. This is part of it. Yeah, we put the last run report on the screen. It's always updating. Just bringing attention on the problems if there are like a lot of failures. And basically when it's running, this is the mobile lab in the action, and they are running the tests. This is in a public place in the office. Everyone who is passing by can stand by and take a look. This is becoming a bit fun for the non-technical people for whom these actions are kind of the magical. And a lot of people just stopping by, taking a look how the scripts are running the test very fast, and enjoying the running the scripts. Yeah, and in the end, when the current run is finished, the reports in the screens are updated to the final one. Okay, basically these are all. Again, if you want to keep in touch, or later in you will have any questions, you can ping me in Twitter or LinkedIn, or like leave an email, and ask the question. And right now, I will go ahead and I will try to answer the questions that we already have in the Slido. Okay. Don't automate everything. What did you realize after some time that is easier to done man? Okay, there are a lot of cases that we are trying to keep it manual. For example, some configuration checks, which could take like 5 minutes to do, like several cases. And it was better to do it manually than do all this configuration automatically and spend a lot of resource and the time. And usually this kind of the configuration cases are changing very fast, and every time you need to maintain your automation tests. We just find out that we are like spending a lot of time on this, and then decided to skip some of the cases. Or we also skip, like we did some half automation for the localization testing, because yeah, we automate localization. We are running the test in the different like languages, but the thing is that we need to just check if the application looks fine. We have two options for this. We can take the screenshot and do the screenshot comparison, which takes a lot of time, or we can do it manually. What we basically do, we just run through all the application, we take the screenshots and touch them, and then someone pays like 15-20 minutes for one language, just running all the screenshots and making sure that the application looks fine on all these screens. Basically, these are some examples that we did or manual or half manual to speed it up the process. Because, for example, again, for the image processing, comparing the stuff, it's very flaky, and usually we are like spending a lot of time on the maintenance and implementation that we can do manually. Why not using a cloud service device farm? Wouldn't the physical solution require a lot of maintenance and the inventory physical update? Yes, it takes a lot of maintenance and also physical update, but for this is faster. I mean, when we have set up already, when we want to run like 1,000 or 2,000 tests on our farm, it takes up to 3 hours. But when we send all these tests to the cloud, it takes longer. And also there are security issues that we need to build some VPN tunnels and stuff. And also in the end of the day, for the long time of the calculation, this solution becoming more cost efficient than the cloud. Again, when there is a small startup and you use very limited resources for running, it will be cheaper. I mean, for the business to go for the cloud solution. But when, for example, our company, we are running every day several times 4,000 test cases, the cloud solution becoming more expensive, and also there are, as I mentioned, we are customizing a lot of the application and also the infrastructure to be able to mock a lot of services. We are doing some customized builds, which will be very hard to set up on the cloud versions. And if we will not do this custom implementation, we will lose a lot of cases to automate. So we'll have a lot of manual stuff there. Okay, how many devices do you have in the lab? Right now we have about 40. It's changeable because, for example, we are stopping support for the operation version or for the phone or stuff. And this time we just change, and there are engineers who are responsible for the lab, and what actually they are doing, they just maintain everything, make sure that we have different operation system versions, and we have different phones, and they are just analyzing the usage of the application and in which cases are in which devices users are most using, and we just updating based on that. So basically we have up to 40. How long does it take for 1,100 Android tests? Because I want to mention Android, because Android is a bit slower because of the installing and the restarting stuff. It could take up to 3 hours something. And basically, if we would like to speed up, we just add a new node with a new device, and it will take 15 minutes to set up everything. So when we were like trying to build all this ecosystem, we pay attention a lot on the scalability. So we are trying to keep everything scalable. So when we actually need to add new node with the phones, if we have the computer and the phones, it will take 15 minutes to run. I'm sorry. Okay, is it possible to run just a few tests cases, not all the suite? For example, those. Yes, we have possibility to group test by the area. For example, only this area we want to run, or we can just select the class and run specific amount of the class. This is done in the software level with the Maven, and we just have the Jenkins job, which is running particular amount of the test cases. This is easy to manage in the software level. Yes, I mean the farm is there always, and you just run the tests that the amount of tests that you want. Also, you can pick up several, like 10 tests from all around the suite and run only this, for example, these three test cases or 5 test cases. Usually we are using this when we are writing the new test cases. When you write like 5 new test cases, you just run only these 5 test cases in a farm. Just make sure that it will pass in the farm, and then you are merging your PR. When you are calculating the cost of your own solution, what items are you taking into account? Yes, is the salary of the people who are maintaining the lab is included? Yes, it's included. When we are calculating the ROI, which is the return on investment, we are taking in account all the maintenance time which the engineers are spending on it. We are calculating all the devices that we use, like everything is calculated. Basically, when we compare with the solutions, there are a lot of solutions which providing the cloud, which providing the cloud services. They also do the on-premise installation. When you order, yes, they are bringing all these devices and building in-house an in-house cloud, kind of in your house. I'm sorry. And we calculated everything, and we find out that it's becoming like twice or triple expensive when we will order this service, and they will create private cloud for us. Yeah, basically we calculate everything, also the time and cost of the time that the engineers are spending on that. Where and how to start the mobile app? How to start the mobile app testing automation? Oh, this is a bit general question, I guess, a bit out of the mobile farm topic, but yep, it's kind of belongs on the situation. I would say that you can automate anytime, but and start the automation anytime, but you need to understand the balance and understand that the automation will help you to speed up your solution rather than slow down, because in some stages when the automation is like small and it's very changeable and design is not final and they are changing every second sprint, it's better to wait to get to the more stable situation rather than start the automation. Basically, you, like in my personal opinion, you should start the automation, the application, when actually you have a stable state of the application, and you feel that the area that you are automating will not be changed in 1 month. to invest a lot of time there. Okay, so since we don't have any other questions, I will connect to the Zoom room if you want to continue discussing this topic. We can go there and have a conversation there. Basically, I want to thank you everyone for the questions, for the nice questions, and for the taking a part in this session. And yep, we can finish, and I will